It's like things like that. Like, how do you?
Oh
miss
yeah.
that?
Yeah. In chapter 35, I want to make a theory on 35, but there's one panel and I can't decide if it's an error or it is intentional.
Is it gonna be these stone tablets? Out of
Yeah.
curiosity. Oh,
Yeah.
I bet you we have the same thought again. Okay, this proves that we're just on the same wavelength. Because I have a
There's
feeling
an
I know what you're gonna
X
get at. Because there's okay. I'm gonna say my thing real quick and see if it's the same. Actually, you say yours first. I'll let you go first because it's your topic.
Okay. As I have much thoughts on this because Ishiki's thing suddenly gets black. When
And it goes back to white. It goes back to white while he's still there.
Yes, something like that. 35.
Yeah. Oodie, the thing's one chapter off.
Yeah. Is it the next?
I
chapter?
hate this website you're on.
I know.
Because of that.
Done one chapter before.
Surprise attack.
They tried the one
chapter
before,
4.
maybe.
Okay.
I don't know which. Yeah, the thing's always one off. Anyway, yeah, because so then if you look at the reason why this matters to me is because of a theory I had. But if you look, it's black. So it makes it tricky to determine why it's black because you could say it's black because Ishiki's there. You could say it's black because Ishiki's alive. The problem is the 1 or 2 pages where it turns white again that messes it up. Because if you look at later panels, in
always black.
In particular, Code looks at the thing and it's black, which either, depending which theory you're going with, it either means Ishiki's there or it means Ishiki's alive, which questions what's up with Ishiki being dead, so on. I have my own theory for it, but the one little nick in the dent in the car here, I just made up that saying, is the fact that the thing turns white randomly in like the next page. And so it's like
go up to the so much where Sasuke is for the first time here.
Just go through the whole thing slowly.
Okay, wait.
Okay, here. There you saw one there. It's white, yeah. So
here's white, easy. So I don't know if it's supposed to be white or not. No idea. But the next page has a panel where an X is in the middle.
Yes.
And I don't know if it means it has to be inked and it's forgotten, or if it's only
there it is.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's X. The X on that.
That's hilarious. He's marking it to ink it, and they just didn't do it.
That's what I thought.
I've been through this same thing, and then you scroll down, it's gonna turn black soon. So you could say, oh, maybe it's because Sasuke's on it when it turns black. So it's not gonna be. So just skip to when he jumps to it. That's when it turns black. Well, actually, no. The problem with that theory, though, is look, it's all the other ones are white while Sasuke's on it, but now it's all of a sudden it's just black.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and this symbol, this dramatic underscoring symbols, I don't know if they underscore if it goes now in this moment black or if it's only meant or there's someone above Kaguya.
Now, I believe I'm gonna double check my messages with Saran real quick. I believe I asked Saran about this quite a while ago because he gets the volume releases, and I asked him at some point
volume release
if he. It might have been okay. I think I asked him either on a different account or on Pocket somewhere. I thought I asked Saran at some point anyway if in the volume release for this they were black in all those pages or if they were at least more consistent. And I believe he said no, it's the same. The volume release corrected Kawaki's eye, for example. So then it's like, is this a mega error or is this intentional? Because look, if you keep scrolling down now, it's going to turn white again when the 10 tails screams, I believe.
Right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, now it's white. So it's like, and then of course it just becomes black in other scenes when Code's there. So the question is like what determines white or black?
Yeah.
I will
is
say
it whether the 10 tails is awake or not? Problem with that theory is I'm pretty sure it's black in a scene where the 10 tails is literally snoring asleep. So that doesn't work either.
You know, interesting is Sasuke touched this panel and then 10 tails screams. The 10 tails screams.
Yes.
Okay. Maybe.
I will say for this
Maybe
one,
some 3D chess,
I think this one
300 IQ move.
obviously it's like
Yeah.
so crazy because it's like the black and white thing. This is the one thing where they just should have it be consistent. But with the Tintel screaming, they will usually do things like this where it's some crazy thing happening and they just don't ink in the black thing to make it look white, to make it go along with like the craziness of it. They do this a lot in manga in general. So this one could be that, but that obviously doesn't excuse literally all the other ones.
But yeah, watch, if you keep scrolling down, I think it turns black again when Jigen's there.
Yeah.
You might have to go into the next chapter for this.
No,
Yeah,
okay,
okay.
Let's go. Yeah, let's check everything we can find if they show. Maybe they just don't show it. Okay. Guess you don't see it.
I hate this. I hate this. These panels. These panels.
You said you hate these panels?
Yeah, also I love them, but I can't form a proper thought on this. So you know.
Why?
In what aspect? The stone tablet aspect, or
Yeah, I
something
want to
else?
understand
okay.
the black and white, but no, I don't.
Yeah.
First, I thought it maybe has something to do with karma. If an Otsutsuki has a karma in this world, but makes no sense. Yeah.
I don't
So
know.
what I've rolled with personally is the early panels there are errors or not thought through, meaning it should just be black to start. And then the next is either it means that Ishiki is still alive or that Ishiki is there, in which case this kind of gets into a different theory of mine. But the point is, I think the inconsistency is just an error and not like intentional, because otherwise I don't understand what this could possibly mean otherwise.
Mm.
Well, either way, it's not going to mean the same thing because Kodachi's no longer writing it. So, there's that.
I don't know.
There is that.
What I will say, Kamui, is
I
that
would
again,
say-
this doesn't excuse the other ones, but this one you could also say another similar manga thing to where because it's far in the background, they don't ink it. That's
Yeah.
the explanation, because you see that a couple times, like for Ada's eyes, for instance. But yeah, I'm not even talking about omnipotence.
Exactly. So like I can understand some. It's still annoying though, because it's like, gosh darn it, bro. You know how quickly they could ink in that circle?
Yeah.
That is not something you're low on time.
Especially when they inked in this circle on the same panel.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Just copy and paste it, bro.
Yeah, ton of darkness right down here.
I know. So it's like, but then you get into these ones, and it's like, okay, like you're up, it's right there. Like, what are you doing?
Exactly. And this one makes it seem like it's glowing white, like it's flat, like it's a light source.
Mhm.
Yeah. The anime does do this differently, I will say. Everything's just gray. There's no black panel to my memory of the anime scene.
I hate this location in the anime. It's everything is metal and chrome and LED stripes.
It looks like the SpongeBob episode.
Yeah, the chrome thing.
Yeah.
It's the future.
That's good. Oh, yeah.
The future.
This was hype.
Here does it look like
the manga, though,
some ancient stones.
Now, I will say I can forgive this because there's so much else going on here that like one or two mistakes is like not a big deal. It's not the end of the world. There's so many cool concepts here just in general. Seeing Kinshiki again, just this realm in general, the crossed out stone tablets, all the other stone tablets, Sasuke here, Jigen comes
I
here,
agree. It just messes with people who are trying to theorize around the stone tablets.
I know. Like, even like the Tintel's cage, if you want to consider this a cage, the like top of it, it looks like the Rinnegan.
Yeah.
Kind of. Yeah.
The Rene Sharingan, yeah.
Yeah.
Do you want to get? I have a post on this panels. Do you want to look at it? There's some cool pictures. These panels. I have a post with some pictures where I've theorized, so what they could mean and so, you know.
We can go to it, yeah, because I'm pretty sure you at the very least you're looking at the same thing as me, yeah. Oh, you're looking at the destroyed ones for this one, okay.
Yeah. Skip the text. You don't need the text. Look at the pictures.
This one looks pretty familiar. Oh, this is interesting.
Yeah,
Taking
the
it
two-
horizontally instead of vertically. That's interesting. I never considered.
Yeah, I've
that.
actually seen
They
so
are, like,
and I already know
vertically.
this one, for example. I've thought the same thing. The guy in the right likely has the same Renegon symbol at the center, top center. You can even see part of it in this
Yeah.
panel.
Yeah.
That little thing's gonna be there. And then of course the one at the bottom right likely will be a one horn Otsutsuki.
Yeah.
So each pair has a 2-horn and a 1-horn. Granted, in Ishiki's case, the 1-horn's on top, but beyond that, we don't know too much.
Where
Do you
is
think
this one horn? It's like
Urashiki will be one of these?
one like consistent horn. It goes all the way
No.
across the head, almost like an infinite horn.
Yeah, also Kinshiki's does that too. Madara's does that. Do you think this is Madara and Obito?
Go to the next page, picture. I have tried to make things.
Oh, that's cool. I like that. Let's see if I can like I can't really see it on this one, but this one kind of.
The bottom one, yeah. Where did you come up with the bottom one in particular?
I thought Kinshiki has these 2 circles
Oh,
around
yeah.
it. Maybe
These
the
circles over
here. Okay, yeah.
lower rank.
That makes sense.
So you just skipped the horn aspect though, because you didn't know what to do.
Yeah,
I'm
I have
guessing.
no clue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The
Okay.
top one has something of a horn, and I've mirrored it and tried
That's
to
cool.
be an artist.
I like
Yeah, that I've seen a similar art guessing Urashiki for that, a very similar looking design.
Okay,
I don't
have,
think it's Urashiki one of the.
Yeah, you
I
think it's
have
someone else.
an explanation for this. So obviously, this top eye is like the Rene Sharingan for each of these people. Well, each of these people.
Well, not the Rene Sharingan. So I
Rinnegan.
actually don't think it's that, because Momoshiki doesn't have the third eye in the version of him that shows up on these stone tablets. I think it just means like Rene something. So you have a Renegon, you have a Rene Sharingan.
Okay.
Doesn't
okay.
have to be the third eye in the forehead though.
Yeah, because obviously we got the
Um,
horns, we got the eye, and then I'm gonna say this one down here is also just the Byakugan. Ishiki has
Yeah.
it, Kaguya has
Yeah.
it, Momoshiki has it, Kinshiki has it. So when this goes black,
Unless
this
you want to
could
see
be the
Ishiki flips
Tokugan.
back and forth because he has the black eye too, and that's why it changes. But then I don't understand
Yeah.
why it doesn't just have a second circle for the triangle eye.
Yeah, I did post today about this symbol which represent the Rinnegan, and I think it don't represent the Rinnegan. It represent the eating of a divine fruit, also of the
Ooh,
of
that's
the
good.
Jubi, because Yura
Okay.
has the
Yeah.
same symbol on his back.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay.
So I think it's more about the chakra fruit and 10 tails than it is the Rene anything.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Okay.
I like the
which
idea.
means
That's-
Ishiki,
Go for it.
yeah, did not eat one. Ishiki.
So that's
did
interesting though
really
with
don't-
Amado's story saying that Ishiki is supposed to get the fruit, not Kaguya then.
Yeah,
Well, this could have been made after that, anyways. So it's just accurately represented. Or it could update.
What actually happened? Okay.
Yeah, it could also update. Like the Otsutsukis are just linked to it. Like instead of someone
I don't
destroying
think so
these
because
panels,
Momoshiki.
they died.
I don't think so because Momoshiki didn't update.
In what sense?
He neither looks like fused Momoshiki nor the current Momoshiki that Boruto sees.
Does he look
Like he
like
doesn't
the
have the broken
movie
horns.
design? Which is so weird, but I'm gonna.
He
throw it out
looks
there
like
anyways.
the manga design in the first 5 chapters or whatever. He's got the horns curled forward. He's got the hair and the fancy thing. It's not like
To be
any
fair,
of the other Momoshikis.
To be fair, Kamui,
Yeah.
this is not the right place.
and
to be
I
fair,
think a little bit. I think a little bit strange that these stone panels change their appearance.
Oh yeah, you want to get to
version
this
of Momoshiki
segment?
doesn't exist, and we've talked about this before. Everyone
Yeah.
talked about this
Oh,
around this time, just in general in the manga. What form does Momoshiki take inside Boruto? Because it's weird, but yeah, no, this
Yeah.
version
So
doesn't.
I posted this. So this is when Boruto's talking about how Momoshiki took over versus Boruto Sasuke and how he's scared, blah blah blah. And Boruto says that it was Momoshiki, and he imagines Momoshiki. So I can actually tell you where you might want to look, but this specific version of Momoshiki doesn't exist. There are no Momoshikis ever drawn in this manga where he both has the full curved horns and the hair loose. That doesn't happen. He either has the hair all tied up with these horns, or the horns are broken with the hair in this design. This is most likely, I'm going to go double check real quick, the scene in one of the pictures in chapter 10 redrawn, just differently in this case. I'm going to double check real quick to see the most similar looking panel. This is kind of like the Kawaki one from the prophecy that we've discussed, where it's just not the same.
Yeah. But then
actually,
also,
he jumps down. I don't know if
we see Momoshiki inside of Boruto's head a couple of times, and doesn't he have like the broken horn? It's like always different or weird. Or
it's
something.
always broken ever since chapter 10, minus this thing here.
Yeah. So it could just be an
this image isn't even based on anything as far as I can tell. Just doesn't look like any of the chapter 10 drawings. I don't know what this is.
Aber das ist like a image in the mind. Also Amado explains the divine fruit and Ishiki's origin. And first there is an image of Ishiki stroking Jigen, and then he says, no, it's nothing like this, and then you gets the right image of a shrunk down Ishiki who gets in the ear.
Yeah, so do you think Ishiki did choke Jigen, then shrink down and go in his ear?
No.
Or is Amado imagining that? Or is that supposed to be Naruto and Sasuke and everyone's imagination of what Amado's saying?
I think it's for the reader. I think it's the symbolization of what was said for the reader to see.
Yeah, what the reader would think. Okay, yeah, I agree. But it's still funny.
Yeah, it's still funny, yeah.
It doesn't make sense in this case, though, because we've already seen what Momoshiki looks like, and he never looks like this. So why would the reader think this?
Well, to be fair, you're the only reader double-checking his design.
Yeah.
I mean, this looks like Momoshiki to me. Looks freaking cool.
Whereas, yes, I am the only reader, or one of only 3 readers who would notice this. It's still.
Yeah. Shibai's horn. You know the theory about Boruto has Shibai's horn?
Yeah.
I don't think
I've actually
it's
done a video
horn.
discussing what I think about that theory.
Oh, I don't think it's Shibai horn. If you look at the symbolization of Shibai, he has a horn like Ishiki, which grows from the skull, not from the forehead.
I discussed some of the differences too. Like, Shibai's horn has some similarities, definitely. I'll admit that. But there are some major differences. So first of all, it's much thicker. First of all.
Yeah.
And that does kind of influence the shape of this. And then second is where the horn doesn't grow exactly the same. Like, Shibai's grows out more than in more, whereas Boruto's is a little bit more straightish. It does the same out than in, but not as exaggerated. And then Shibai's are thicker as well. And then the tippity top point thing is, it's not 100% the same shape is the point. It's like maybe 80% the same, you could say, but it's clearly not the same. Granted, you could chalk that up to 80% Otsutsuki versus 100% Momoshiki. Maybe that's the difference, kind of like how Kawaki's horn doesn't go all the way around his head. But yeah,
exactly. Or just like a Karma
tricky.
V1 thing. It's like a baby horn at that point. Especially considering the horns don't grow like horns. It's more like wood than anything.
Yeah, it's weird.
Yeah.
Depends on the Otsutsuki's horn, though. They each grow differently.
That said, if it is Shibai's horn, I think that especially goes well with my theory, Kamui. You're going to remember this, where after defeating Ishiki, when Boruto's waking back up after Borushiki, he's ripping off the horn, and Momoshiki's flipping out about Boruto taking off that horn. If that's Shibai's horn, that could be why, which would be real cool.
Yeah. That said, though, the only problem, though, is it didn't go anywhere because, like, Momoshiki never once talks about it, never once gets upset about it, never once cares. He's stronger, if anything, not weaker. So I still am annoyed that nothing happened with that.
I think the horn thing is a pride, so a pride thing by the Otsutsuki. So Kinshiki gets his horn cut down and is angry about it. Yeah.
I don't get why Boruto's would even be permanently destroyed, though. It's weird because Like I understand like if there's a temporary problem, it reduces Moboshiki's power in the moment and stuff, but it should just reset because as it is, the horn grows and goes away. It's not normally part of Boruto's body. It's not like the actual horn of Kinshiki where it just is there. You chop it off,
Yeah.
it's gone. Like Boruto's is a like if you chop off one of Four Tails Naruto's chakra tails, when he redoes the form a month later, he's gonna get the tails back.
Yeah.
But like
Doesn't
they're
so,
not part of him.
the first
Same
time
way.
Borushiki appears to take out Boro, I'm pretty sure he makes the horn, right? Well, Momoshiki
It's the full
goes
horn,
back
yeah.
to sleep, and the horn just retracts back into his head. It doesn't
Yeah.
stay there. It just shrinks
Exactly.
down.
And then it like otherwise, like you say, oh, it permanently removes something from Momoshiki. That's a fine concept. But if that's the case, Momoshiki should have never been able to take over Boruto's body normally ever again, because he would have permanently lost part of Momoshiki's self. Whatever amount is in the horn, let's just say it's 10% of him. Great, he can never be 100% now because of this.
Yeah, no, the same thing.
That's
the same explanation with the code arc.
Obviously not
which
what they
doesn't
were
make
going
sense.
for, though.
Yeah, when Boruto dies in the code arc, he's given that explanation. The 18%
Exactly.
thing. So
It has nothing to do with the horn. In fact, he had the 18% still there to do what he did in the code arc, which means it doesn't make sense that he can't grow the full horn back, as is explained.
makes no sense.
All right, the title of this clip is Momoshiki's horn makes no, or Borushiki's horn makes no sense.
Literally. That being said, I still say that my explanation for this is, first and foremost, is I don't think this is nothing. I don't even think this is an error. It's just not even a thing in the first place. But, well, you can say error based on your... But I'm going to say if this is a thing, then this is the Kokugan, which I still say is fine, because Kaguya's Rene Sharingan doesn't have Tomoe's in it, so then this wouldn't have to have the triangles in it.
Yeah,
No,
maybe
I agree as far as that. The only problem, though, is then it should always be black for one thing. It should never go white. And second, I personally don't think it's saying Rene Sharingan specifically on Kaguya, as it's the same symbol as Momoshiki. I think it's either what I originally thought was just Rene something, you just have a Rene something, or B, I guess what Fabrino said, having to do with you ate a chakra fruit, the 10 kills is yours, blah, 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 something along that lines. I don't think it's specifically Rene Sharingan there. But regardless, it's all the more reason why Ishiki should always be black, though, if it's meant to be the Kokugan.
Yeah, the chakra fruit would be fine.
Yeah.
My thing is that why would it be 3 lines instead of 2 or even just 1 circle? Like 3 just sort of it has an extra line in the middle for no reason if it's a fruit. I mean, I guess we've never technically seen what a chakra fruit looks like in the manga, have we? No, Momoshiki ate Kinshiki, but that's technically a Kinshiki's fruit. Yeah, that's a Kinshiki fruit, not a divine tree fruit.
Also, it's had
But
the symbol of
we've seen images of what it's supposed to look like, I'm pretty sure, so...
Well, we've seen images of
that.
what Momoshiki is supposed to look like, if you want to count that. So, I don't know.
You got a point,
But that's what I think. Plus, it makes more sense, like, the Kokugan is, like, the pure black eye. So I think they would just be doing that. And I know what you're saying, but Ishiki's technically inside of Jigen. So I think it would focus on Ishiki rather than Jigen in that case. I think Ishiki could just do the black eye, I'd imagine.
Maybe Ishiki has